America, growing protests in London as the president meets with Britain's prime minister. From pomp to politics, President Trump gets the royal treatment overnight at a lavish banquet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you all to rise and drink a toast to President and Mrs. Trump.
Now, marchers fill the streets to protest the president and his policies as he meets with Theresa May, just days before she steps down from a government in turmoil.
The new severe weather alert. The Arkansas River hitting the highest level in history this morning, and now the heartland bracing for more rain on top of that catastrophic flooding.
New details in that deadly workplace shooting. The gunman's resignation letter now revealed as authorities search for a motive.
Mystery death in paradise. The young parents from Texas just days into their dream vacation when they die from an unknown illness.
Chilling new developments in that missing mom mystery. What the surveillance video from the night she disappeared reveals as her estranged husband and his girlfriend go before the judge.
Shark attack. The 17-year-old suffering a brutal bite in North Carolina now speaking out from her hospital bed. Her message this morning and how her hero father risked it all to save his daughter.
And we say goodbye to Jeopardy James. The Jeopardy megastar brought down just one win away from Ken Jennings' record, losing to a 27-year-old librarian. Why he made that surprising final Jeopardy bet. What he's saying about it all this morning.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Yeah, he said bye with almost $2.5 million. Good morning, America. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday morning. And Jeopardy James, he was gracious about last night's loss, ending his 32-game winning streak.
And he had a sense of humor about it as well. Before the episode aired, he tweeted, "Knew I shouldn't have invited Drake to the Jeopardy taping." Because Drake has been known to have this thing called the Drake curse. We've reported the Toronto Raptors, I think University of Kentucky, Anthony Joshua, who just lost his heavyweight titles this weekend. So, yeah, I guess Drake must have gone.
And reminding everybody he's a sports bettor as well. We're going to begin breaking news out of London, where President Trump is wrapping up his state visit to the UK. The high ceremony at the royal banquet in his honor last night, giving way to protests in the streets of London today. You see them right there as the president meets with outgoing British Prime Minister Theresa May. She's stepping down in just 3 days. The country in crisis over Brexit. And our senior national correspondent, Terry Moran, starts us off from Buckingham Palace. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. Well, after a dazzling start to this state visit, President Trump gets down to business today, that meeting with Prime Minister May. She'll have a lot to say to him, even though she is leaving power. This alliance so crucial for Britain right now. There's protesters in the street, as you said, but really they are still rolling out the red carpet for this president, and nobody does it better than the House of Windsor. This morning, President Trump arrived at 10 Downing Street with outgoing Prime Minister Theresa May. Earlier, sitting down with British business leaders, May chairing that meeting, and the president joking that maybe she should take back her resignation.
I don't know exactly what your timing is, but stick around. Let's do this deal. Okay?
But May is the lamest of lame ducks. Her tenure in office broken by the endless, intractable debate about how Britain should leave the European Union. The president has already weighed in on that, pushing for a so-called hard Brexit, where the UK would just crash out of the EU without a deal. And he's boldly backed Brexit hardliner Boris Johnson to succeed May.
He's been a friend of mine. He's been very nice. I have a very good relationship with him.
As Britain leaves the EU, it needs the U.S. and President Trump more than ever. And so he's getting the red carpet treatment here, including last night's state dinner at Buckingham Palace, hosted by the Queen herself.
Mr. President, as we look to the future, I'm confident that our common values and shared interests will continue to unite us.
The First Lady, in an evening gown and long gloves, was escorted by Prince Charles. Ivanka Trump joining several other family members amid a glittering gathering of notables, including Prince William and Duchess Kate. President Trump offered a warm tribute to Her Majesty the Queen and to the U.S.-UK alliance.
She has embodied the spirit of dignity, duty, and patriotism that beats proudly in every British heart. On behalf of all Americans, I offer a toast to the eternal friendship of our people.
So that was Donald Trump last night, the real estate developer from Queens, at a banquet held in his honor by the Queen. It has been quite a trip for him. Later today, he'll have a press conference with Theresa May, once again back to business. Robin?
And we will bring that to
everyone live. George will host that. Thank you, Terry. As we've seen, President Trump's visit is sparking protests also in the UK. Our senior foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, is in London with more on all that. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Robin, from the famous Trafalgar Square. The statue, Nelson's column, is right behind me. But the reason we're here today is because of the people out here. Thousands, tens of thousands, possibly even hundreds of thousands are expected to gather here today. They're not against America, they are against the president and the official visit here to the UK. They're against the man, the policies, the words, the deeds. And that is why they've come out here, and we can see it in all the placards that are out here. There's even a giant robot that's come all the way from Philadelphia, and it spouts out famous phrases that the president likes to use, like fake news and no collusion. The plan today is to march down to Westminster to make their voices heard. But there's a ring of steel around the president, and the chances are he may not hear what's happening, but they'll still go on and protest. George?
Ian Pannell in London, thank you. Back home, the president facing new protests from his own party over his plan to impose new tariffs on imports from Mexico. Congressional Republicans are now considering action to block the tariffs, which would be their most defiant move yet against Trump. Our senior congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce in Washington, with the latest. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, many Republicans simply are not happy with the president's surprise plan to impose new tariffs on Mexico, and now they could take action to try and stop him, potentially voting to block the president and his use of executive power. You are right, it would be a dramatic rebuke from Republicans that could also block billions of dollars in border wall funding. But, George, Republicans are concerned that these tariffs could amount to tax increases on American consumers and businesses and could risk the president's new trade deal, and they are demanding more information. They're now hoping to learn more tomorrow after a major meeting here between Mexican officials and members of the Trump administration.
Meantime, Mary, Democrats stepping up their actions against Trump administration officials.
Yeah, George, 1 week from today, the House will vote to hold the Attorney General Bill Barr and the president's former White House counsel Don McGahn in contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with congressional subpoenas and failing to turn over the full unredacted Mueller report. The House Oversight Committee is also moving to hold Barr and the Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross in contempt for failing to comply with subpoenas related to that decision to add a citizenship question to the 2020 census. But, George, these contempt votes are not likely to end this standoff between Democrats and this White House.
Showdown's not going away. Mary Bruce, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, George, now to the historic flooding in the heartland. The Arkansas River reaching record levels, and now more rain is on the way. Ginger is tracking the very latest. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, Michael. We just looked. Pendleton, Arkansas, the highest river level on the Arkansas River ever in recorded history. Now you go upstream to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where these homes are isolated. You can see people just trying so hard to put those sandbags around. Worst flooding there since 77 years. Conway, just the roofs showing. So this is upstream, just northwest of Little Rock. My uncle lives right near here. You imagine it's not just the homes around, say, Lake Conway, 100 of them in jeopardy, but the people that have to get into the town, to get groceries, to live life. And this type of map means a lot to them because there's more rain on the way. There's this upper level disturbance, a lot of moisture from the tropics, wrapping in another 3 to 4 inches. From Iowa to Mississippi to South Dakota, guys, there is flooding and big problems in the agricultural world, too. Michael?
All right, thank you so much, Ginger. We're going to turn now to new details on that deadly workplace rampage in Virginia Beach. The city is releasing a gunman's resignation email, but investigators are still searching for a motive. ABC's Whit Johnson is in Virginia Beach with more. Good morning, Whit.
Michael, good morning to you. Still so many questions about what may have triggered this horrific attack, but a newly released email is only deepening the mystery. Just hours before that massacre, Dwayne Craddock sending in his resignation letter, telling his supervisor, quote, "It has been a pleasure to serve the city, but due to personal reasons, I must relieve my position." Craddock and the supervisor agreeing his last day would be in 2 weeks, but the shooter would later die in a hail of gunfire that evening after police say he killed 12 innocent victims, most of them co-workers. 4 people were also injured, taken to nearby hospitals. 3 of them, at last update, remain in critical condition. The 4th is now in serious condition, which is an improvement after being moved out of the ICU. Michael?
And yeah, and you're learning more about the weapons the gunman used during the shooting.
Michael, that's right. Virginia Beach police are now confirming to ABC News that the silencer the gunman used was purchased legally. That's in addition to the 4 other weapons that he legally obtained. That means that the gunman passed a lengthy process of background checks and law enforcement approval. Silencers are allowed in the state of Virginia, but prohibited in the city of Virginia Beach. Michael?
All right, a lot of questions to be answered. All right, thank you so much, Whit. Robin?
Okay, Michael. Now to new developments in the search for that missing mother of 5 in Connecticut. Jennifer DeLoso's estranged husband and his girlfriend appearing in court on Monday as police reveal new details about what they have found. Eva Pilgrim is in New Canaan, Connecticut with more on all this. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. The search for Jennifer now entering its 12th day. Investigators back out here again with canines in the area where her car was found. Now, police are saying Jennifer DeLose was the victim of, quote, a serious physical assault after finding blood in her garage. This morning, chilling new details about the night missing Connecticut mother of 5 Jennifer DeLose disappeared. Police say surveillance video from that night shows a man they suspect is her estranged husband, Fatis, stopping at over 30 locations in Hartford, emerging from his Ford pickup and placing multiple garbage bags into various trash receptacles. Cell phone records putting him in the area. Police say his live-in girlfriend, Michelle Troconis, was seated next to him in the passenger seat. Authorities say they recovered blood-stained clothing and various household items like a kitchen sponge from the bags that tested positive for Jennifer's blood.
Where is she? Where is she?
On Monday, Fatis and Troconis ignoring reporters appearing before a Norwalk judge, both facing charges for evidence tampering and hindering the prosecution.
Based on the allegations, the court's going to leave bond as set at $500,000 cash or surety.
Troconis posting the $500,000 bond that afternoon, emerging from court with a sweater over her head and an ankle bracelet.
Do you know what happened to Jennifer?
For nearly 2 weeks, multiple agencies have been searching for any sign of the 50-year-old mother, last seen dropping her children off at school on May 24th. New Canaan police now sending out this robocall asking residents for their help in the search.
If you have a surveillance video system at your residence or business and it captures vehicular activity, we request that you save the video.
Now, Fatis is still behind bars. He has not posted bond. The prosecutor in court saying they anticipate more charges are coming. George.
Thank you, Eva. We're going to move on now to new details in that North Carolina shark attack on a 17-year-old girl who lost her leg. We're now learning how her father jumped into action to save her life, and ABC's Gio Benitez on the scene in Atlantic Beach with the story. Good morning, Gio.
Hey, George, good morning to you. That father is a trained rescuer. He did everything he was supposed to do. And this morning, despite everything she's going through, his 17-year-old daughter is grateful. They are the chilling calls for help after 17-year-old Paige Winter was attacked by a shark at a North Carolina beach.
Is she awake and breathing?
If she is, she's barely. She's in bad shape. I mean, her leg is almost gone.
Her father, a Marine, firefighter, and paramedic, punching the shark 5 times on its nose. Exactly what experts say you should do to get a shark off of you, aiming for the animal's snout or gills.
I didn't hear her crying or anything. I think she was just in shock. And she was with a group of friends, and they were all there around her.
Now this morning, we're hearing from Paige herself, issuing this statement from her hospital bed. Although I have extensive injuries, including an amputated leg and damage to my hands, I will be okay. I know I have a long road to recovery, which includes additional surgeries. I will continue to stay positive and be thankful that it was not worse. The teen losing a leg above the knee and some of her fingers. Her grandmother posting on Facebook that she may also need a hand transplant. Incredibly, the hospital says Paige is in good condition, and she does not blame the shark for what happened to her. And listen, this attack was entirely unpredictable. It happened in the middle of the day, 1 p.m. Sunday, but still officials here are urging everyone in this community and all across the country, at beaches all across this country, to not go in the water at dawn and dusk when sharks are more likely to be out. Michael.
All right, thank you so much. You're a very brave young woman. And now we're going to go to the latest in the college admissions scandal. Attorneys for some of the parents facing charges argued in court on Monday that the payments were charitable donations, not bribes. Chief National Affairs correspondent Tom Yamas is here with more. And Tom, this looks like a possible preview of their defense.
That is right, Michael, and good morning to you. As we know already, some parents caught up in this scandal have pleaded guilty, but others are still fighting. And this morning, we're getting a sense of what the defense for some may be. Bribes? What bribes? We thought this was all for charity. This morning, some of the parents busted in the so-called Varsity Blues scandal, seeming to mount a possible defense. Nearly 30 attorneys representing 19 parents appearing in a Boston courtroom, some of them arguing their clients did not make bribes. They thought they were making charitable donations. But the money went to the mastermind of the scheme, Rick Singer, along with athletic coaches and test proctors he was paying. Assistant U.S. Attorney Eric Rosen arguing the parents charged were in the wrong regardless, saying, quote, it simply doesn't matter whether the money went to a coach's program or the coach directly, adding a bribe is simply a quid pro quo. 33 parents have been charged, 13 of them, including actress Felicity Huffman, pleading guilty to mail fraud charges. Others, most notably actress Lori Loughlin, are still maintaining their innocence. The actress and her husband accused of paying $500,000 in bribes. So where is this possible defense coming from? Well, there were parents who dealt with that college consultant Singer who were not charged. Those parents were allegedly told their payments would be going to a university or a college athletic program, not to bribe anyone. But guys, just want to give you an idea of what the government has in this case. They have more than 3 million documents against the parents who were charged, including transcripts, emails, and bank financial records.
And cooperating witnesses, too.
And cooperating witnesses, most importantly.
All right. Thank you. Now to the NBA Finals. The countdown is on to Game 3. The series now tied, as you know, a game apiece. But there are some questions brewing over a play in the last 2 minutes of the previous game. TJ Holmes, good enough to make a little pit stop before you head out to Golden State.
Toronto to Oakland. That includes a stop in New York, right? It's on the way. Yes, folks, you're going to have to let it go. You lost the game. But we find out there was a violation that should have been called on that last play for the Warriors that essentially sealed the deal. Roll the play. You all tell me, do you spot the violation? Here it comes. Here it comes. Here, wait for it. Well, did you see it? No, he did. Steph Curry traveled on that play. The NBA put it out, and it happens right here. It's in that spot.
Right.
But here's the thing. They put it out in this final 2-minute report. They do this for every game that's close. But they say it's so subtle that you could only see it in enhanced video. So the ref, you wouldn't have been expected to catch it. But still, the folks in Toronto, that doesn't make you feel good.
No.
Okay, but the game's over, tied 1-1, going back to Oakland. Now, but the Warriors are struggling here right now. Klay Thompson.
How is he?
Klay has a hamstring injury.
Right.
He said he's going to play. He's getting treatment. He has a mild hamstring sprain. He's going to play. But Kevin Looney, their forward, who has started some games, he is out indefinitely. He is not probably going to come back for the finals. And Kevin Durant, of course, as we know, is still nursing.
KD.
He is. So. They're a bit of a mess, but we're going back. Game 3, some special guests probably in the house, I think, on Game 3. Stay tuned.
Oh, a little tease there.
With all these injuries, if they can win, it shows how good, how stacked this team is.
All right, you can see Game 3 of the NBA Finals tomorrow night.
You're going,
9 p.m.
right?
Eastern, right here on ABC.
Don't give up.
George,
what are we doing? They're leaving us here. We're sitting at home.
Right here at the desk.
Let's get over to Ginger.
All right, let's go ahead and start with this, shall we? Okay. Let's look at the hail in New Mexico. This picture coming to you that is covering the ground in New Mexico. That type of severe storm, possible with hail, mostly damaging wind, though, today, anywhere from Duluth down to Kansas City, and say Illinois through West Virginia and even Northern Virginia tomorrow. All right, your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the Tuesday trivia, sponsored by Expedia.com.
This is the couple who wanted to get away, who used Expedia to book the vacation rental that led to the ride, which took them to the place where they discovered that sometimes a little downtime can lift you right up. Flights, hotels, cars, activities, vacation rentals. Expedia, everything you need to go.
Grab a jacket, heading out the door this morning, and don't forget the sunglasses. Another great day coming your way with sunshine and low humidity, but cool. Temperatures will warm pretty good. Late morning, 65 degrees, getting out of the 50s. 70 at lunchtime today, then 78 degrees at 4 p.m. Just a beautiful day and some pretty decent air quality, too. Now, tomorrow, we're back on weather alert. Watch for those storms after 2, 3 p.m. and up until about 7 p.m. The high 87. High humidity, chance of storms Thursday and Friday.
Coming up, just one win away from from Ken Jennings' record. Jeopardy James loses. We're going to get his message coming up.
Get it! Get that butterfly!
You know those butterflies aren't actually in the room.
Hey, that baker lady's on TV again!
She's not a baker. She wears that apron to sell insurance. Nobody knows why.
She's the Progressive Insurance Lady. They cover pets.